We're gonna put a hood scoop on this thing. Hello guys, today we're back working on our Subaru project car. Last episode we made a lot of progress. We actually panel bonded the lower section of the WRX XTI bumper to the upper section of the Forester bumper and basically tacked everything up. In this episode hopefully we'll be able to finish all the bodywork and start on something special. So stay tuned for that. So let's start by removing all the bolts and nuts that we used to temporarily hold the two bumper sections together. Now that we got all of the nuts and bolts and rivets removed, we're going to reinforce the bumper by adding some more additional panel bond. So we reinforced the bumper with some of that panel bond material in addition to some rubberized tape. I think it's a bit overkill, but you know, better safe than sorry. So the next thing on our agenda is to take care of some of these lower mounting points. You see these mounting points are the ones that came with the lower portion of the WRX bumper, and obviously they do not line up with the mounting points on the Forester. So just like we did with grafting this section in with the upper portion of the Forester bumper, we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. So basically we're going to cut out the lower part of the Forester bumper and graft it to our WRX bumper, and hopefully that will give us all of the factory Forester mounting points for all the clips and bolts and whatever goes in there. So let's get to it. So we have another obstacle we need to overcome. As you can tell, this is the cutout from the factory bumper, and this is our lower WRX bumper. So even if we wanted to join them together, there's still a gap between them. So we got to get a little creative and solve this problem. So in order to adapt the lower bumper to fit the factory mounting locations, we kind of had to cut up the factory bumper and kind of section it off. We had to rethink our strategy a little bit when it comes to the lower bumper mounting brackets. Let me show you. So original plan called for this two sections to be welded together. However, there's just not enough of this bumper to span this gap. So I decided to try just using the clips to essentially float this section in the middle. And it seems to be fairly structural. You see, you can push on it and it gives a lot of resistance. As far as the gap here, This is the wheel well liner, and as you can see, there's a big gap between the bumper and the liner. All we need to do is simply replace this section of the liner with the WRX one, and that should fill up this open space. And as far as the bracketry, we made this little bracket out of the old bumper that should hold the wheel liner in place. So now that we're done fitting in the lower mounting points, we can move on to bodywork. So I just realized there is something important that I forgot to mention, and that is regarding to the prep work. Since we're modifying a lot of different parts of this car, we're not going to do, we're not going to paint everything individually. We're not going to do final body work on everything individually. We're just going to get it somewhat ready, one panel at a time, one body panel at a time, and in the end, we'll do all the final body work, and the paint work. So it's going to be all one shot. So we're making decent progress with the bumper. We are continuing on our body work. A couple more layers and a little bit of sanding, it should be over. So at this point, I think it's safe to move on to our next thing that we're going to be doing to this car. And let me show you. As promised in season 1 of this Subaru project series, we're going to put a hood scoop on this thing and direct air from the top of the hood into our intercooler. For this, we're going to use the old damaged Forester hood that we removed off the vehicle when we were doing the collision repair. And we can use it to experiment, that way we don't feel bad about wrecking it. It's already going in the dumpster anyway. There's 2 ways we can go about this. The obvious way is to get a WRX hood and just cut out the hood scoop and mold it into our Forester hood. The other option is just to custom fabricate it. Well, I want to go with the custom fabrication route. Now, if we encounter a lot of difficulty, just in the interest of saving time and some aggravation, maybe I'll go with option A and buy a WRX hood and just graft the hood scoop on this car. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is take some measurements, and we can transfer them on a piece of cardboard, so later on we can model that cardboard fabrication on the actual hood to see how it looks. This is going to be a little tricky because this type of hood scoop, we're not just putting a hood scoop on top of the hood, because this hood scoop is made up of 2 sections. Actually, here, it's easier just to show you. So this section is the section that's gonna go inward, the intake section. This section is gonna go up, just like the factory unit. This is how we're gonna make this. We experimented with our hood scoop design. I don't know if this is going to be the version we're going to go with. We might do a little bit more experimenting, but it's getting a bit late, so we're going to pick this up in the next episode where we're going to work on our hood and a lot of other cool stuff to come. See you soon.